I don't remember a time when I felt like I truly belonged in my own family. Some of my earliest memories are not of arguments or punishments, but of something quieter and far more painful: being overlooked, ignored, passed over so naturally that everyone acted like it was normal. I was born first. You'd think that would mean something. But from the moment my younger sister arrived, the atmosphere in our house changed. She didn't even have to try. People gravitated toward her like she carried light inside her bones. Relatives would come over and bend down to her level, cooing about her eyes, her cheeks, her smile. Someone would eventually notice me standing nearby and say, "Oh, and this is the elder one," as if I were an afterthought they almost forgot to mention. At first, I didn't understand why it hurt. I was too young to name the feeling. I just knew that when she laughed, the room warmed, and when I spoke, it went quiet. My parents never said I wasn't pretty. They just never said I was. When my sister wore a dress, everyone paused to admire her. When I wore one, it was nice or practical. When she entered a room, she was noticed. When I did, I blended into the furniture. Family photos told the story better than words ever could. She was always in the middle, held, posed, angled toward the camera. I was placed on the side, sometimes half-cropped, sometimes asked to step back so she could stand out better. Once, when I was around 7, I asked my mother why my sister always got new clothes while I wore hand-me-downs. She didn't even hesitate. "She looks better in them," she said, as if it were the most logical thing in the world. That sentence stayed with me longer than she ever knew. At school, teachers adored my sister too. She was charming, confident, expressive. I was quiet, observant, reserved. Parent-teacher meetings were filled with praise for her personality and concern about my silence. "She needs to speak up more," they'd say about me. "She's such a joy," they'd say about her. At home, those labels stuck. My sister was the sunshine. I was the serious one. If she forgot her homework, it was forgiven. If I did, it became a lecture about responsibility. If she cried, my parents panicked. If I cried, they told me to stop overreacting. By the time we reached our teenage years, the imbalance was no longer subtle. It was structural. Everything revolved around her. Her interests dictated family schedules. Her moods determined the house's emotional climate. Her problems were emergencies. Mine were inconveniences. When money was tight, sacrifices were made, but never hers. She needed dance classes because she was talented. I didn't need extra books because I was already doing fine. I learned very early that being capable meant being invisible. So I stopped asking. I stopped expecting comfort. I stopped sharing dreams. I trained myself to need less, because needing less was safer than being disappointed over and over again. I watched my parents pour into her what they never poured into me: confidence, reassurance, belief. And I wondered what kind of person I might have been if someone had ever looked at me the way they looked at her. But resentment wasn't allowed. If I ever hinted at unfairness, I was told I was jealous. "Don't compare yourself," they'd say. But they compared us constantly. By the time I was old enough to understand, I realized something devastating. My family didn't ignore me because they hated me. They ignored me because they thought I didn't matter as much. And once you realize that, something inside you quietly breaks. I didn't rebel. I didn't act out. I disappeared emotionally. I became the good daughter. The low-maintenance one. The one who caused no trouble and asked for nothing. Everyone praised me for being easy, never realizing how much it cost.